We have made it to the super regional round of the College World Series, the college baseball tournament, and just 16 teams remain. It gets started tomorrow, June 6th, and I am here to give you my picks, my predictions for tomorrow's games, and I have one pick for a team to win their super regional. If you're as excited as I am about college baseball, please give us a follow, a like, a comment. It really helps us out. And let's just get right into the picks. I'm starting off with the early game, the noon game, Eastern time. I'm looking at North Carolina minus 2.5 versus Arizona here on the run line at minus 110 odds at DraftKings. In game one of this Chapel Hill regional, Jake Knapp will get the start against Arizona, and Knapp has been one of, if not the best pitcher in college baseball. He's 13-0 in his 14 starts, and he has an unbelievable 1.98 ERA. Batters are hitting just 186 off of him this year. In his last start against Holy Cross in game one of the regionals, he went 8.1 innings through 119 pitches of no-run baseball. He allowed just 4 hits, struck out 7. This is going to be a really tough test for this Arizona lineup. And Arizona, they just kind of cruised through the regional without having to play one seed Oregon. And in Arizona's first regional game, they were out-hit 10-2 against Cal Poly, but good for them. They still found a way to win. The Bats did end up coming alive later in their regionals as they went on to win. But I think they struggle early at the dish here. They have to travel across the country from Arizona to North Carolina and play in the early game. I think Arizona is a good team. I think they can make this a pretty good series. But in game one, I think it's going to take them a little bit, especially against a pitcher like Jake Knapp. North Carolina did have to play in a game 7, but they won 6 of their last 7, and they're one of the hottest teams in the country. And that's because their lineup has really started to hit the ball well. It's not just the pitchers anymore. This lineup is loaded with power. Even guys that normally don't hit home runs, they were hitting home runs in the regionals. They're going to provide Knapp with enough run support for the Tar Heels here to cover the run line in game 1. Then my next pick, I'm looking at Louisville minus 1.5 against Miami. That's plus 108 at FanDuel. Now, I faded Miami multiple times in the regionals, and I got burned. But I'm going to do it again here. I'm worried about Miami's pitching and their depth, and their lineup is not that explosive. They were 179th in the country in batting average, and that makes for a great matchup against the Cardinals and a pitching staff who allowed just 5 runs in their 3 regional games. In college baseball, when a team has hot pitching, you see it every year. It's very tough to fade them. When they turn it on, they really turn it on. And I think Louisville's offense should be able to do enough to win by at least 2 runs here. The Canes will likely start Griffin Hugas, who has a 3.90 ERA and a 6-7 record. He pitched a complete game in Miami's 14-1 win over Columbia, but this is Louisville's lineup, not Columbia's lineup. And even if he does have another solid start and looks pretty good, Miami's bullpen is very concerning. And then another pick I like in this game is the under 12, which is minus 115 at DraftKings. Outside of Miami's game against Columbia, they never scored more than 6 runs in their regional. Louisville's pitching will make things very difficult for Miami in game 1. And then on Louisville's side, they scored 4 runs, 3 runs, and 6 runs in the regional games. I'm confident Louisville can get the win by at least 2. But I really don't see how this game goes over 12 runs. Then my next pick, I'm looking at the Florida State-Oregon State under 11, which is minus 120 at Bet365. This could easily be one of the most exciting super regionals. When you look at the super regional odds for who will win and advance to the College World Series, it's split right now. Minus 115 Oregon State, minus 115 Florida State. So this should be a great series. Oregon State got popped in the mouth against St. Mary's in the first regional game, and they lost. But then they went on a tear, outscoring their opponents 50-6 in their next 3 games. Then Florida cruised through their regional. They beat Bethune-Cookman, and then they beat Mississippi State twice. And the reason I like this under is because I think we are in for a pitcher's duel. I love both of these starting pitchers in game 1. The Seminoles have one of the best pitchers in the country in Jamie Arnold. Arnold has a 3.12 ERA, a 1.06 whip, and an 8-2 record. And then Oregon State will have Ethan Kleinschmidt on the mound. He has a 3.70 ERA and an 8-3 record. And despite having Arquette, who is hitting 352, has 18 bombs on the year for Oregon State, and the way that the Beavs ended their regional offensively, I think they're going to run into troubles against the lefty Jamie Arnold here. I see this as a pitcher's duel, so I don't see how this goes over the total here. Then lastly, my pick to win a super regional, I'm going with an underdog here. I'm going with Coastal Carolina at plus 124 at FanDuel. Hard to call them an underdog when they have won 21 straight games, and they have the second best ERA in the country. They're poised to reach Omaha for the first time since 2016 when they won it all. They certainly have the team to do it, but it's not going to be easy going up against Ike Irish and the number 4 Auburn on the road. This series is really going to come down to Coastal's pitching against Auburn's lineup, and that's going to be a very intriguing matchup, very fun matchup to watch. The Chanticleers, I think they're going to save their ace, Jacob Morrison, for Game 2 of the Super Regional, which means Cameron Fluke will be in Game 1. He has a 3.12 ERA, and if Coastal can steal Game 1 in Auburn, the Tigers are going to have a very difficult time in Game 2 against Morrison, who has a 2.19 ERA and a .9 whip. Auburn's lineup, like I said, is tough. They have Ike Irish, who's hitting 362, 18 bombs, and they have 3 freshmen who have done extremely well for being freshmen. Auburn scored 9 runs, 8 runs, and 11 runs in their 3 regional games as they cruised through the Auburn Regional. But runs are going to be a lot more difficult to come by here against Coastal Carolina and their pitching. And while the Chanticleers might not have the sluggers that Auburn does, they still know how to put up runs. They don't lose games. They're very fundamentally sound. And they can score, which was evident in their 18-7 win over East Carolina in their regional. The Chanticleers, they've won 21 in a row. They need just 2 more wins to reach the College World Series. I'm going to bet on the hotter team with the better pitching at plus money here. So give me Coastal Carolina to win the Auburn Super Regional. So those are my Super Regional bets for Friday. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you are betting on in college baseball this weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and let's have another great weekend of college baseball.